Our next speaker is Miss Haymen Tu, a student at Oakridge since pre-K 3.
Good morning. My name is Haymen Tu, and today I will be talking about people watching. Now let's not jump to conclusions. Let me explain why people watch first. I am 18 years old as of right now, and I have been going to Oakridge for 15 of those years. So Oakridge is like my second home, and that is why going to such a small school for so long, things get boring. You see the same faces, you hear the same things, and it all just becomes a routine. And because my life doesn't seem so exciting, I've developed a habit of people watching. I like seeing how people interact with each other and make note of their behaviors and reactions. I don't really have a notepad and start writing about every move someone makes. I just recognize things and I'm very observant at times. So why did I choose to speak about people watching today? It's not really a passion. I just find psychology very interesting. I want to know why people do the things they do. Is there a reason behind their actions and behaviors? But because psychology is such a broad field and I don't have a degree like Mr. Renshaw, I decided to talk about people watching today. Basically, I'm going to tell you the mental notes that I've taken through my years of people watching. Let's talk about work ethic. I'm still a student in high school, specifically a senior, so that must mean I have senioritis. That is partially false. I've noticed my friends' habits on homework over the years, and there's 3 different ways to approach it. They either do it on time, at the last moment, or because they don't do it at all. And for the people who do finish their work, to actually learn from it, do it just to get it over with, or because their parents made them. Work ethic really does define a person, but just because someone is a procrastinator doesn't mean that they can't be brilliant. It just means that they don't have the same mindset as the ones that turn it in early or on time. It all revolves around the student's ability to do things. Whether it's how fast they do their work, how well they do it, or how they even did it at all. And even if they procrastinate, they can still do their work. It just depends on their drive as well. Are they going to continue to blow it off or keep working? Also, I think that procrastinators have different priorities than the more studious ones. But that doesn't matter. But that doesn't mean I'm taking anything away from the people who turn it in on time. Maybe the procrastinators aren't finishing their work because they want to hang out with their friends or they have sports practice after school. I've seen people who can balance all those things and my mind gets blown. For example, all the seniors on the field hockey team are in the same 7-period AP stats class. Ashley, Tara, CJ, and me, Ashley, Shelby, Tara, CJ, and I, except for Tom. We're all over here trying to figure out standard deviations and residuals, while Tom, on the other hand, is like, oh, I took that class my sophomore year and I got a 4 on the test. But finishing homework on time is possible. It really depends on the person when it comes to getting things done and right. But academics is not the only thing that defines work ethic. Sports does as well. Another thing I've observed on work ethic is the mental aspect of it. Okay, you've been running for what seems like years, and your mind's telling you that you're tired and you have to stop because something hurts. We've all been there. I certainly have. But to overcome that, you need to believe that you can push through it. In practice, my knees are always killing me, and I feel like I always have something wrong with me. But on game day, and the time to play is now, my adrenaline kicks in, my mind forgets about all those worries, and I play until I have to stop. To have a strong work ethic, you can't have a weak mind. There's the people who mess around during practice and the ones that work hard and learn new skills. Practice is like a prep class and the game is the actual test. But once again, there's always an exception, your ability. Just because you mess around in practice doesn't mean you aren't fit to be the best player. My best example would be Shelby Gilmore. This girl is a goofball and she influences me to act like a fool in practice. We love joking around. But that doesn't mean she's a careless player. She's a gamer, according to Coach Bird. She'll walk like a grandma in practice, but beat everyone down the field in the game. That's what I mean when I say it depends on the person. Keep in mind that everyone's different and these mental thoughts of mine are just observances. The next topic of people watching is relationships. Not only the lovey-dovey ones, but the social ones in general. First off, who here remembers the feeling of having their first crush? Not that, oh, she's cute thought, but the actual butterflies, the warm, fuzzy feelings, and that smile you have right now on your face for thinking about those emotions. Obviously, I cannot explain about how someone feels from people watching, but I can sure tell you how they act. I always love watching people interact, especially teenagers and even better crushes. I either stop watching when it gets extremely adorable or just too awkward. I'm going to start with the girl. What will you see when a girl is crushing on a guy she's talking to? Well, first, they're going to be laughing a lot and touching their hair and touching the guy. And y'all already know that, though. What I really want to talk about is what the guy does when he's crushing on a girl. This one's interesting because I never knew this until Coach Harder pointed it out, giving me insight into a man's world. Sometimes the guy will have his hand in his pocket. That's because he doesn't know what to do with his hands. I don't know, he might hit something or someone. I've done that before. I always fling my arms when I get too excited. Or maybe he's rarely making eye contact. That's because he doesn't want to that's just because he's too nervous and doesn't want to stare intensely into her eyes. And get this, when they glance down, it's not because they're not paying attention, it's because they're making sure they look okay. The last thing I will talk about is the social life, and in high school that means the friends. I think it just revolves around what you're doing over the weekend and who you're doing and who you're hanging out with. People just love talking about people. I hear things all the time, but honestly, we've all been there, talking about things that we shouldn't be talking about. Whether it's good or bad, people talk, and especially nowadays, people rely more on their social standings than anything else. Instead of going to this total rager and staying out all night, I'd rather stay at home and bathe, paint, or watch New Girl. One thing I've noticed most of people watching are the trends. People follow the crowd. Majority rules, that's fine, it's why the majority rules. But sometimes we get caught up and in the moment and do things on impulse, which is great. The spontaneity is great. It gives us a rush and reminds us how to have fun. But it's okay to just stop and really think about what you're doing. Should I really go out like everyone else is when I have a food review? Should I break up with my girlfriend because everyone's judging us? Should I talk about so-and-so because they're mean to my friends and now they're mean to me? Really think about your answers to questions like those. I believe in doing the right thing and always being positive because when it comes down to it, the decision made was by us and only us, which not only affects our life but others and the ones we love too. It's best to stay in check and keep focused on the grand scheme of things. Whenever I feel like I'm shying away from myself, I remind myself this. A humble person is more concerned about what is right than about being right, about acting on good ideas than having the ideas, about embracing new truth than inventing an outdated position, about building the team than exalting self, and about recognizing contribution than being recognized for it. Thank you for listening to me talk about people watching.